It is impossible to imagine America without the inheritance of slavery.
Juneteenth, the 19th of June, 1865. It's the day that the last US state, Texas, finally freed its slaves. Every year, Juneteenth, Independence Day, or Freedom Day commemorates America's dark past. A past based on the bondage of people because of the color of their skin.
The greatest damage that enslavement did, besides the economic damage, besides the normalization of torture, of rape, besides the normalization of treating people as though they are things, is the institution in the American mind that black people are necessarily inferior. In 1865, when black people were emancipated, that belief did not magically dissipate.
In 2019, Juneteenth has reignited the debate on reparations. There's long been a call in America for the people who built the nation, African Americans, to be repaid the debt that white America owes them. As expected, the idea is massively controversial and potentially massively expensive. One estimate goes like this. The US benefited from more than 222 million hours of forced labour between 1619 and 1865. At the current minimum wage, that's $97 trillion. Others have a lower estimate of $5.9 trillion, again based on the value that slaves represented to their owners and for the unpaid work that they did. For context, the US budget for 2018 is $4 trillion. But reparations of $97 trillion is not what people who support the idea are looking for.
I think the proper thing to do is for this body to convene a committee and convene a discussion to study exactly what the damage was and what potential remedy might be offered, and also to convene conversations around the country. Just attendant to that, I also would like to say there's been a lot of, shall we say, shade throwing on the notion of cutting checks. I just want to say, in the spirit of openness, in the spirit of actual study, I don't think we should necessarily rule out cutting checks. There are people who deserve checks.
That's Ta-Nehisi Coates, whose article, The Case for Reparations, written in 2014, forms much of the basis of the current debate. And it is a debate. There is disagreement between some in the black community. Coleman Hughes, another American writer, also gave evidence.
Reparations, by definition, are only given to victims. So the moment you give me reparations, you've made me into a victim without my consent.
As did a former NFL player and current Fox News contributor, Burgess Owens.
It's about policies, guys. It's not about 200 years ago. By the way, high minimum wage is as good as it sounds, it keeps our young people out of work. And open borders hurts our race, period.
Slavery has been followed by more than 100 years of subjugation through legislation like the Jim Crow laws, which enforce racial segregation and mass incarceration. They've had a legacy for the African American community, which needs to be redressed. This congressional hearing is about a bill called H.R. 40. If passed, it would establish a commission to study the need for reparations and develop proposed compensation for African Americans. And this Juneteenth, many Democratic presidential hopefuls are backing calls for discussions at least. If a commission is established, it would be proof that America is finally able to talk openly about race. And to quote the American Civil Liberties Union, now is the time.
Because once we separate the facts about our history from the legend that we tell about our history, what comes into focus is an America that needs a bridge to get from where we are to where we know we should be when it comes to racial justice. And reparations can be part of that bridge.